I spent a month working on this dress, and I might destroy it. Bonjour. In my previous projects making these lamps, I found dead moth in them, and it gave me an idea. In the 2021 film Cruella, there is this one dress. It is gold, it is glamorous, and I guess a little spoiler here, it is covered in thousands of gold moth cocoons. Mais non, c'est pas vrai. They are the chrysalis of the Tithoria taricina, or cream-spotted tiger wing. They were probably not real ones in the film. And they made this cute little butterfly into a fabric-eating moth, which kind of blew my mind when I saw it. And also, nobody gets to wear it in the film. It's always on a mannequin. So I thought I would find a way to make my own. And I too can look like some sort of fancy gold insect. So... no breaking the camera, please. So I scavenged all the fabrics that could be relevant to this project. We have this gorgeous taffeta that I found in the couture section. There is a percentage of silk, but it's mostly synthetic, but I think the color is just absolutely perfect. So this is going to be the base color. I found a synthetic organza that is also gold and green with a touch of blue. And if we layer the two, this looks like an exact match from the fabric on screen. This is not enough. In the movie, the dress is covered in those gold beads, butterfly cocoons, fabric-eating moths. But I am not going to order a giant crate from South America filled with just an endangered species, obviously. So I have different options. So in the options, we have this delicious sequin fabric that is also magical. But I don't have that much, so it wouldn't be enough for the dress anyways. I have this gold lace that is extremely expensive, and also I don't have enough of it. But look how pretty. I stumbled into a fabric store that was closing down, and I have this. It is more gold, it is more transparent. It has some interesting design with it being small at the top and more full at the bottom. And I have 5 meters. And the whole thing I got for 35 euros, which is nothing for this kind of fabric. Okay, let's make this corset. I'm reusing the pattern from my Morticia Adams corset because I think it fits pretty well. If there are alterations, they will be very small. I've already made several mock-ups for this pattern. But it's really hard to work because... look! That's it! To celebrate that, I'm changing the name of the channel from Hazariel Costume to Hazariel Atelier, because I'm not making just costumes, I'm making outfits, I'm making fashion, I'm making home decor and home renovations. This whole channel is about celebrating creativity in many different ways, and I think the Atelier is the place to do that. Thank you so much to the 100,000 of you who are following this project and allowing me to spend my whole time just building fun stuff on the internet. Merci, merci, merci. Okay, I did not make a mock-up, but I still gave myself 1 centimeter extra on the allowances in case there is something wrong, I hope not. And to try it on without having to put all of the eyelets, I'm using my trusty eyelet strips that I made. If you've never seen them before, it is a finished piece with the eyelets. The edge is secured and I can sew it on all my mock-ups so I can try it on without having to put all the eyelets, which would be wasted on the mock-up. So if you think that you are going to make a few corsets in your sewing life, I would recommend making one of these because it saves you money and time. Quick fit check without the boning, we don't have any major surprise. I have a bit of room where it's needed. So if there are alterations, it's going to be removing fabric and not adding, so I think I can make the boning channels. Let's go, next step. The boning channels are made by cutting one edge of the seam allowance, folding the other side over, and that creates the channel. So after trying it on, I made some minimal adjustments to the pattern, which is removing a little bit of the hips, removing a little bit of the center front. I moved that seam over there, moved the underboob a little bit up, higher, made the center front a little bit higher as well, and that meant removing a little bit here. Maybe for the next one I will move that seam a little bit more straight, but I think I'm happy enough with this pattern and we can start on construction! We start with the boobies by creating the cups out of neoprene. It would be probably much easier to buy some cups, but I'm cheap. They are attached with a zigzag stitch, it is pretty easy to do. They are pinned to the bodice and sewn with a zigzag stitch right at the edge of the neoprene. We have a bodice, now we can cut the pretty fabric. So I've layered the colors together. Here it is the green and the beading, and this one is the green, the organza and the beading. And there might be a little bit more shine with the organza, but I think we lose kind of this green tone that I really like. I'm not sure it's worth adding this layer, I think this one is more interesting. I just want to show you how important it is to iron your fabric. Look, here is ironed and here it's not. Look at the size difference, I'm losing almost a centimeter on the width.
This fabric shrinks so much, I don't think I'm gonna be able to iron it during the project, which is a huge difficulty. I'm just giving it a strong ironing now, and after that, no more heat. I just really love the color, so I will find a way to make it nice. You know how ironing your seam is like one of the most important stuff when you are sewing, otherwise your project will look kind of amateur? Well, let's see how it goes.
I love how this fabric is made of turquoise threads and gold threads, and it ends up being this kind of green with gold reflections. It's so pretty.
The pieces are cut with a 1 cm seam allowance. It is super important to mark the notches, you know, the little cuts that you have to align together when you are assembling two pieces. Never underestimate them.
Sewists, assemble.
Wow.
There are a bit too many seams in this corset, but assembling this layer is not too long. I tried several ways to assemble it with the structure layer, because the white layer has all the boning. This is the structure that supports the whole dress. So after a few attempts, I'm just layering them and thinking about the edges a bit later. This will be future me's problem.
My seams are maybe a millimeter, half a millimeter off from the white layer. Usually that won't be a huge problem, but if you multiply 1 millimeter by all those seams, then this layer doesn't fit over the white layer. So I have to redo my seams. It leaves a mark, but that won't be very visible under the gold. It's just super annoying.
Unpicking all the seams, redoing all of them, because I love redoing the same thing, but now it fits. And we can add the pretty layer. I don't want to break the needle from my sewing machine, so I need to remove all the beads from the seam allowance.
I've seen techniques on the internet that seems quite fun, but I don't have the tools. If only I had a hammer.
Bonjour! Quelqu'un demandait un marteau?
Oui, je vais niquer le truc.
Juste pour vous montrer toutes les pertes du voltige à 2 mètres de hauteur. Tu peux garder mon petit croissant. Abonnez-vous. Au revoir.
Am I going to drink shards of glass because they fly everywhere? Maybe.
The cups are sewn by hand, and this corset is ready to be finished.
We have boobs! To proceed with the next step, I think I need to add some bias step, finish those edges, but I'm not 100% sure that I have enough fabric for this entire dress.
So let's put on the eyelets, worry about the finishing touches later, and proceed with the next step of this dress. To make the underskirt, I'm using a very simple pencil skirt pattern. I'm just making it longer and slightly trumpet-shaped at the bottom.
I have this old bedsheet that is made of silk. It is kind of damaged in many places. But if I can avoid the many rips, I think it will make a perfect lining and very smooth. I think it looks alright. Obviously the hem is going to look better when I add the horsehair. I can sit, I can walk. It should be okay. There's just minimal adjustment at the...
There are a lot of beads to break to assemble them. I've tried the technique with the painter's tape over the beads just to prevent them from flying around, but I didn't find it really useful because I couldn't see through the tape, so it ended up taking much longer, and sometimes I missed a few beads, which meant redoing some places, so I don't know, I guess I would have to live with those broken beads all around my place for quite a while. Looking at this footage, I wish I could have kept the tulle a bit longer, because sometimes the green layer did peek out a little bit out of the skirt, but it's fine, it's a very little detail. Don't tell anyone. It is late, let's just do some hand sewing by the fireplace.
Okay, so even though there is plenty of finishing touches to add to this, I think I have the main elements to start working on the last piece, which is going to be structured like a overskirt. And it will have a lot of volume, so I need to find a way. Shall we go petticoats, or bum pads, or crinoline? Let's go check what I have in the closet full of ass padding. Never mind the dirty laundry, we are in the costume closet. I am very organized. Circle!
I'm patterning directly onto this, but the problem is that the corset doesn't lay normally since it's a wooden mannequin, so it's not squishy like me. And it means that the padding is not sitting in the right place as well, but this gives us a rough idea.
Okay, I'm starting to like the shape, but the corset is going like this on the wooden mannequin, so it's pushing the pillow over there when it should be more flat. So we have very high hips, which I like. On the reference, the volume is much lower. So I'm going to make some adjustments, but I have to try it on. I do really like the butt. It's really hard to pattern on yourself, but there is some issue in the area, but it's going to be covered, so I don't care. I think the volume of the skirt is really nice. I might remove a tiny amount of padding on just this one, but yeah, I think it looks really good. We'll see about the hem later, so I think I need to make a mock-up for this skirt. Let's go! It's not bad on the mannequin. Those shapes kind of remind me of the cursed project of Halloween. Okay, so it's not easy to fit on yourself, especially if you want to reach... I think I have a good volume. I'm just fixing a few issues and then I can trace the hem, but I think it's going to look so awesome.
I think the volume is quite close to the one in the movie, and you never really see the dress from the back. So I think the backside is kind of a mix between 19th century bustle and some sort of insect abdomen, which is very fitting for the theme of this dress. It makes my bum look bigger, but it makes my waist seem smaller. I'm really having fun with this insect idea.
I'm going to fit the pieces one by one to make sure that I have enough tulle. And also the placement of the pieces looks nice. Stop everything, I have great news. When I break the beads, they fly just everywhere, which is kind of annoying and also a bit dangerous, but... So I've seen this trick where you put some tape over the seam before breaking it, so it will just stick the little broken pieces to it. But I found that this doesn't work really well, because if I don't see where I'm hammering, I usually will miss a lot of beads and then just have to do it again, which is not super efficient, but I find a way. Aha! Let me explain. This is my sanding box. It's just a clear plastic box with 2 holes and some fabric on it. I cut the top off and I added this clear plastic. This thing is just to keep it from getting too many scratches. So now I can just put it there, put my hands in here, and I can just hammer the edge with it being protected. And also I don't have to wear the protective glasses, which is much better for seeing what you do. I had made that box before to use with the Dremel, and it's very useful for that. But yeah, I'm really happy that I found this.
And it is so satisfying that the biggest difficulty is just keeping yourself from breaking all of the beads.
It is the next day, I'm wearing the same sweater. Let's get this bum done.
I want to make a big shout out to my Patreons. I've been working on this video for a month. I'm glad that I can take the time to make things properly. I'm also working on the community Mugler project, which is going a bit too well. I'm kind of overwhelmed by the amount of scales and package that I'm receiving. I'm also working on some big house renovation, and there is a makeover of the Patreon coming. Thanks to Patreon, I can do those things and still eat, which is nice. So if you want to support my work, you can do that over there on Patreon. I will put the link in the description. Thank you so much for your support. I love you, my little croissant. The waistband is a rectangle of straight fabric, finished by hand on the inside, so I don't have any visible stitching. As you can see, I did not line the overskirt. It definitely would have been neater, but I have a reason for that. But I'm not going to tell you right now. But with a little sewing of hooks and bar at the back of the skirt, this piece is finished as well. We are binding the edges of the corset with some bias tape, and I'm also doing a little alteration on the cups. I may have been a little bit too optimistic on my bust side. The top edge is finished with a bias tape as well, even though it won't be visible, and I'm patterning a piece that will go over that as a sort of, I don't know, lapel? A neckline piece. And it is reinforced with a layer of cotton canvas.
I love the effect of this piece, the fact that I can't iron it, I think it's almost a plus. It looks kind of padded. I've tried different ways to attach the scales, but I don't know, I don't think it's going to look good if I put them all around, because it's not going to go well with the rest of the dress. So I'm going to drop this, I just have to cover the inside where it's slightly visible here. This piece where I had to do last minute changes, so there is a little pleat over there. So I'll just cover this with the gold, and with this it should look very nice, I think.
We can attach this lapel by hand, and the corset is finished, which is the last piece of the dress. But at this point we can still add a little accessory, no? Yeah, let's use the dead moth that I found. I think we can do something using those shards of broken beads. Using a silicone mold, I fill the edges with this dust of broken glass and soak it in UV resin. The first try was a bit too full and busy. I want a sort of gold frame around the moth. This kind of accessory might not be to everyone's taste, but the sunshine goth in me is happy. Adding more shards around the edge to give it a sort of, I don't know, geode vibe, or like an insect stuck in amber. And this old necklace of fake pearls that is broken would be perfect. And with that last piece finally done, we can go to the reveal.
Oh, but you think this is over? You've seen what happens to this dress in the movie. So enjoy this dress because I am going to destroy it. Subscribe so you don't miss the next video.
Bonjour! Quelqu'un demandait un marteau?
C'était parfait. Je veux pas le temps de leur faire une deuxième.
Bonjour! Quelqu'un demandait un marteau?
C'était quoi ça? Comme tu veux.
Ta petite baguette! Abonnez-vous.